Okay, so in this session today we're going to look at the slicing of strings, and the first thing that we're going to do is actually copy a list rather than a string, and this is just by way of example. But when we create this list here, we were able to do something like names and then get parts of the string. So for example, if you wanted to get, I don't know, like the middle 3 bits, we could do something like 3:5, and that would get us from elements number 3 until elements number 1 less than 5, so elements 4. So get us elements 3 and element number 4, so it'd return 2 things. And in fact, let's say if we were to print that out, we'd get like Darren and Elsa, because that is the third index number 3, and that's index number 4. And remember, index number 5 wouldn't be included, so we get these two. And that's kind of like we've seen slicing, we've seen the slicing process already. Now, we can do pretty much the same thing with strings in a way. And the one thing to look at is, in fact, I'll just do this first. S equals and then hello world, and just run that little piece of code so that S goes into the Jupyter variables. And the one thing to look at is the size over here of the list. This is of size 7, as in there's 7 elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 items in the list indexed from 0 to 6. And we see here in a string that although it's not a list, it's still got a size, and it's got a size of 11, and that's because hello's made up of 5 characters, world's made up of 5 characters, and the space is made up of 1 character. So that makes the 11 characters. So it's got this size component of it, and with that we might be able to infer that we could do some sort of slicing. So let's just attempt to do some kind of slicing in the same way that we did on our lists, in exactly the same way, in fact. So for example, we might want to look at, we'll create a variable start just to get the first part of it, and we'll say that's equal to S, which is our string, and let's just slice the first bit in the same way that we've done slicing before. So if we leave this blank, it's everything from the beginning, from index number 0 all the way until index number 5, which should be sufficient to capture hello, because remember, hello, this is index 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, also 1, 2, 3, index number 0, index number 1, index number 2, index number 3, and index number 4. And we don't include index number 5 because it's exclusive, if we remember from our previous thing up somewhere here. It's exclusive, so we don't get 5 in there. And we can actually print out start just to give ourselves some level of comfort in that. So like print colon the quotations the start, and then start. And let's just run that, and we get hello over here. So the start is hello, and we could do the same, for example, the middle. So let's just do middle is equal to S, and this time we'll pick some kind of middle value, and just say it's from 3 to 7 just to get us some body of it. And again, we'll try to do print, and then we'll do middle this time, and we'll print the middle. And we get L-O, and then the space, and then the W. So we're capturing these 3 parts of the string, and that's because it is index number 3, which is, so you see, remember, index 0, index 1, Control Z, I just shifted that across. Index 0, index 1, index 2. So our first index here, which is inclusive, so this is index 3, this is index 4, this is index 5, and this one will be index number 6, and 7 won't be included. So we see the L-O-W come in, L-O space and the W get included in there. So that's a level of comfort. The slicing works exactly the same way as with slicing of lists. Now let's just do the end as well, just finally. And we take S again, and we'll get, let's just try and capture the world. And the world will start from, again, if we do our counting, we could even do our counting back, and we will get to negative indexing too. But we can see here that this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So W is index number 6 and onwards. So 6 and onwards would be depicted like this, and we could print the end over here, change that to end, and this variable here to end, just to get that printed. And when we run that, we just see down below we get the end. So we've got the hello, we've got the middle bit, and then we've got the word, which is the end. And we just go on to the negative indexing, but just before that, just to remind ourselves, we can do regular indexing. So regular indexing. And what's regular indexing? We could do something like the first character. So we set a variable to be the first character is equal to s of 0, and let's just print the first character, the first character, the first letter. Even let's just leave it like that, and we do type in first char for our first letter, and we get the first letter is H, so we're quite happy with that. All of the slicing that we see in lists still pertains to strings. It behaves in exactly the same way, and we'll now do copy that, and we'll change that to negative indexing. And by the way, we can achieve a lot of this with the with methods on strings as well. So we haven't gone into methods on strings, but there are many methods on strings. I'll bring them up. But we could also do this indexing thing and this slicing and indexing on strings. So let's do our last underscore char in the same way, which represents our last character, and that will be, we want the last character of the string, and we can do negative indexing like that, which is -1. That should get us the last element, and we can attempt to print that out, and this will be the last char there, and that will be the last letter. So, and again, that does get us that. So we've got our first letter for H for hello world, and D is in the last letter of hello world. So we were able to achieve the first letter and the last letter, and we could get any letter in the middle as well. Just finally, just as a quick side note, as a reminder merely, or sort of side note, but if we do S and then dots, we get all of the methods. We expose all of the methods that are available on strings. So whilst we've got indexing and we can use that, and there's many cases where we will use indexing, and it's loads of use cases, we've also got tons and tons of methods that are available on strings. I literally scroll through them. I don't know if I'd say that there's 30 methods, 40, maybe 40 methods until we get to the double underscores on strings, and we can do things to like turning to uppercase, lowercase, and so forth. But there will even be like a find, and there's probably even a last character, or like a place where we can find the actual position of a character in a string. So the indexing is just a convenient part of it, and the slicing is also just a convenient part of it, which we can use in certain ways to our advantage when we need to. And that is basically slicing on strings. So in summary, slicing on strings is very similar to slicing of lists in Python.